Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Fairweather Podcast. It's your boy 2K Suave. I'm joined with A-Rod. I'm joined with Vic, and I'm joined with Mr. Sammy. How is everybody doing? I'm gonna start with you, A-Rod, because you got the coolest background right now.
Change
I'm in a
background.
fucking clock.
You lose today, brother. You lose. Go ahead, bro.
Doing good. Day 3 of Ramadan, so just breaking fast. Finally got something to eat. Sammy's in the same boat as me, so today was a rough one for me.
How
I
you
don't know
feeling,
what
Sammy?
happened. I don't know what happened, but I didn't get up till like 11 o'clock today, and I ate a banana. All I ate was a banana this morning. That was it.
That's why, dude.
That's some potassium, dog.
I've been actually pretty good. I've been preparing my body pretty well. I eat like oatmeal and protein shakes in the morning. And then, yeah, it usually lasts me all day. I mean, I still get that 3:30 crash, you know what I mean? Like where it's just like, okay, that's enough. But other than that, it's been all right.
And then
Nice.
Shotgun Guy texts you, "You're a sinner."
Stupid, man. I had to pull up the websites. I'm like, bruh.
Vic, how's your day going?
Going well, man. It's going all right. I'm not hungry because I believe in Jesus. So I've been eating all day.
So do we.
But no, man, it's been a good week so far. I've been trying to kick this flu that I've had for about 4 weeks now. So we'll see if it ever goes away.
All right, and tell me about something crazy, wacky, or funny you've seen in sports in the last week, sir.
Oh, jeez, Luis. Oh man, that's tough, man. Something crazy and wacky. How about this? How about like zero signings except for a long snapper for the Dallas Cowboys who were going to go all in?
Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to the Eagles, but I love it.
And can I piggyback on that point and just say that comma for Skip Bayless's tweet is doing the Lord's work.
Oh my God, that's the best.
Oh, wait, can you please tell the viewers what that tweet was?
So this weekend, Skip Bayless, who is a noted Cowboys fan, decided to tweet about the Cowboys saying, "All in, my ass." Now, he said he wrote "all in, comma, my ass." Had that not been in there, that comma, it would have been read like "all in my ass."
No diddy.
Yeah.
We got the title for the podcast episode. Fuck up some commas. We got it.
My dog Skip, bro. That combo should be in the Hall of Fame. I was seeing all these like funny videos and shit about it.
Yeah.
That combo literally is like James Six Clay.
I had no idea for the longest what it was, and then Twitter just kept blowing up, just like the Diddy shit. And I saw so many funny memes. I saw like the one with like Spider-Man where he's like holding
that was what I'm gonna say.
And it was like comma kid walking in front and said "my ass."
That's crazy. A-Rod, what you got, man? Was something crazy, wacky, funny?
He took both of mine. Those were both of mine right there. I can't follow it up, man.
You got something.
No, that was really it. Those were both of mine. One was the Cowboys, and then he made me put the light ball back on when he said the Skip Bayless thing, because that was wild, man.
Well, how about this? What's going on in your soccer world?
In my soccer world, I mean, the Turkish kid showed up when he played for us the other day. Arden showed up. Endrick came to camp today. I know it was sometime last week. I think he came to camp. So now Endrick's getting used to the facilities, and I mean, I got nothing as far as Real Madrid soccer, and
that's that. What about you, Sammy?
I got some F1 for you.
Verstappen again.
Exactly right.
Again.
It's besides that actually. So Ferrari, Carlos Sainz had to get a surgery on appendicitis. He got appendicitis last week after the race. So he had to get it removed, all that worked out. So Ferrari had to put a substitute driver in, and this kid was in Formula 2, and he was 18 years old, from England, Oliver Bearman. He placed 11th in qualifying, which was pretty good for his first time in Formula 1, and then proceeded in the race on Saturday to get 7th. So Absolutely sick. 18-year-old racer. Kid looks pretty good. Ferrari looks like they're on the rise a little bit more, especially now that they have Lewis Hamilton for next year. So, but yeah, 18-year-old kid crushing it. So the future looks bright there for Ferrari.
I like that. I like the little F1 plug because F1 is obviously fun to watch, but it's more fun to watch. It's fun to watch if you know who's coming in second, because now it's a race for second at that point. You know what I mean? And these little vehicles, how they drive, they be drifting. It's just like it's a different.
I mean, yeah. If you not watch Max, right? Obviously, like appreciate Max for how good he is, but you watch 2 through 10. It's pretty crazy, how they all overtake each other and the rules involved. It's pretty sick.
Max's car needs to get drug tested for like steroids and shit, because this is at some point something is not fair that everyone else don't have that same advantage.
But there's also a rumor. Sorry, I don't mean to like take up this whole thing with F1, but there's also a rumor that he's leaving Red Bull at the end of the year, which is crazy considering, how good Red Bull has been. So if he leaves because his dad got in an argument with one of the leads of the Red Bull team, who was apparently touching women and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of like crazy stuff going on there.
He said, "Sorry guys, my dad said no."
Sorry. All right, for me, it's just we're about to just lead on into this segment of A-Rod, going over our NFL free agents. My dog did his thing, but the crazy, wacky, funny thing for me, the Philadelphia motherfucking Eagles, dog. We go from me depressed, losing Jason Kelsey, and then they bang again with me with a knife, with Fletcher Cox. I'm like, damn, bro, this is crazy. This is not cool. Jason Kelsey can still do that shit. You know that.
I know that. And it's World Tour.
And Fletcher had double-digit sacks last year, so they old, but they were still sturdy. But I say this to say this, man. Free agency started, and it was Russell Wilson. I was like, oh, here we go. Free agency started. I guess we're not gonna do shit. Boom! I think it was like 11. It was like 12:03. Bryce Huff from your New York Jets. A-Rod. Bryce Huff is now Philadelphia Eagles.
Enjoy it, man.
Then I hear, oh shit, DeAndre Swift signed with Chicago, and then my coworker, he came up to me. He was like, because he's a Philadelphia Eagle fan too. He was like, so you think we getting Saquon? I'm like, shit, might as well. 20 minutes later, Eagles signed Saquon Barkley. I was like, damn. This is off to a good start. Because this is Howie Roseman's season. March, April, and May, that's when he's at his glory, dog. Like he's a fool with it. And then we also get CJ Gardner Johnson back. We re-signed Landon Dickerson to like the biggest deal ever for a guard or something like that.
Taking a job away from me now at this point.
I'm just talking about the Eagles.
God.
And then we go get Matt Hennessy from Atlanta. He didn't play last year, but he's a damn good player. And then we got the leftovers from the Patriots with Devontae Parker. And and then we also gave our kicker the most money ever as a kicker. We also re-signed our punter. Like we just glorious, bro. Oh, I say this to say this. Go Birds, bro. Scary hours, man.
2024.
Hey. Y'all be scared now. Be scared. This is like they say from same old South Florida. This ain't your same old Philadelphia Eagles, baby.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, all right. I remember. All I know is the last time I played y'all in the Super Bowl, I won. So, all right, A-Rod, the segment is yours.
You're gonna beat up there.
I mean,
segment is yours.
You're the host with the most, man. Where do you want to start? You want to start in AFC East and go down?
Bro, you just the most intriguing one. Let's go. Just run them. Just give me the first one.
Some of those you don't have to talk about. Some of them are dumb.
We know. You know the ones.
We'll start AFC East. Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills and Miami are the two most intriguing in this division for me. And I said it like 2 or 3 podcasts ago. The window has officially closed for the Buffalo Bills, I think. When you look at the additions and everything, the only addition that I said that was noteworthy, and it's not even noteworthy, is Mitchell Trubisky. You brought that guy back to be a backup. Okay. You re-signed Deion Dawkins and AJ Apencia. That's two good re-signs right there. But you lost Damian Harris, Latavius Murray, wide receiver Gabe Davis, Leonard Floyd, Shaq Lawson, Linville Joseph, Jordan Phillips, Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, and Jordan Poyer. That's a lot to lose,
Just
right?
those last four names is like, damn.
Your whole
Like,
secondary is gone now. Your
Yeah.
whole secondary is gone. And the Dolphins, they added some good things, but they lost a lot on top of that.
yeah.
They added Jonnu Smith, Shaq Barrett, Jordan Brooks, and Jordan Poyer. They lost. They didn't do any good re-signs that were notable. They lost Braxton Berrios, Robbie Chosen, Chase Claypool, Cedric Wilson, all your back-end receivers that you had on the team. All you got are 2 receivers on the team now. Isaiah Wynn, Connor Williams, Justin Houston, Melvin Ingram, Emmanuel Ogba, Andrew Van Ginkel's a big one. Raekwon Davis, Christian Wilkins is another big one. Jerome
Damn, they
Baker,
lost a lot.
Eli Apple, Justin Bethel, and Xavier Howard. Now, these are just players that have not been signed yet that they did not extend to, but most of them are gone. Ginkel's signed in Minnesota. And a lot of those guys were fill-in guys like Melvin Ingram and Justin Houston. They've got him for a playoff push. But your back-end receivers now, you're going to get a whole new receiving core in there in Miami. Patriots, I don't know how you guys feel, but all I'd put for you was Jacoby Brissett, Antonio Gibson. Those are your 2 signings right there. Whoop-de-doo.
Whoa.
You re-signed Kendrick
Whoa,
Bourne.
Big got something to say.
You forgot about the offensive guard we got back on Wayu or whatever his name is.
Michael
On
Onwenu.
Yeah,
That's a
huge
We
get.
just got an offensive lineman from the Bucs.
According to CBS, the Patriots, he was the 15th best free agent on the board. So I'm glad that we signed him. And on top of that, apparently we're in the market for T. Higgins, which is huge.
Yeah, I see that. But apparently CBS is a bunch of liars with that being the 15th best. But anyways, we'll keep continuing. Kendrick Bourne, Hunter Henry, and Kylan Duggar, you guys re-signed them or transition tag them. You lose Mac Jones, Zeke Elliott, Gesicki, Trent Brown, Mac Wilson, J.C. Jackson, Jalen Mills, and all-time great special teamer Mr. Slater retires finally.
Oh, good for him, man. Hall of Fame right there. Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And for the New York Jets, I mean, we get Tyrod Taylor. Let's see what happens there. Morgan Moses, we traded for today. John Simpson, we got re-signed a kicker and a punter. Whoop-de-doo. We've lose Randall Cobb, C.J. Azuma, Mekhi Becton, Dwayne Brown, Bryce Huff, you're welcome, KK, Carl Lawson, Solomon Thomas, Quentin Jefferson, Al Woods, Jordan Whitehead to the Bucks. So it's going to be a whole lay of the land looking different.
Whitehead went back to the Bucks
in the AFC. Yeah, he went back to the Bucks.
Oh, that's what's up. That's dope.
Yeah, I'm happy for him going there. So
how do you feel about your team though? Like, how do you feel about those losses in the games?
Me?
Yeah.
I think we need to sign a lot of those guys to 1-year deals and try and run it back is what we need to do. I knew trying to keep Bryce Huff wasn't going to happen. He was just a rotational guy on top of that is what's wild. So you guys gave him the big money, and I'm happy he's getting paid. I'd rather him go to a good team as opposed to going to some shithole team like the Chargers now. What a shithole team that is. Wait till we get there. But, I mean, it's good. Curious to see what else they're going to do because as far as re-signing players, it was just kicker and a punter is all we really done. So,
Vic, what you got for your boys?
I had a feeling that it was going to be a very lackluster off season for the Pats. From everything that I had been reading, honestly, KK, I'll be honest, everything that I've read has been all about how it's been so contradictory is the word I'm looking for. So I've heard people say one thing about the Pats, I've heard people say another thing, and I don't know who to trust at this point. But the people that I trust the most, like Mike Rice, Reese, the insiders there in New England, a lot of them are saying that they're looking to draft the quarterback early on. And apparently they have their eye on Jaden Daniels, and then keep the young core that they have right now that have been performing, and let all the old people go, and then take the Green Bay strategy of draft and develop, and rather than just signing free agents to mega deals. So it looks like that the Patriots are going to start taking a book out of the Boston Red Sox and be cheap assholes from now on, which they've already been, but at least they've had Tom Brady and company to plaster over that hole. Now they don't have that. We need Jaden Daniels bad. So fingers crossed.
Sammy, do you think Jaden Daniels fit what you guys got going on right now?
I'll take anything at this point. Man.
But realistically, though, like, who do you think would be the best fit?
Realistically, I think we need to switch things around. I don't want us to go after that prototypical pocket passer anymore. I want somebody to bring excitement, and I think that's what we need. We need somebody that's going to bring excitement to the Patriots. I mean, we weren't even that good, but Cam Newton, like, he brought excitement to the Patriots. Even though we knew we were going to suck, it was like, oh, yeah, let's go. Let's see what Cam Newton can do. And we trusted him for like 4 games, and then we're like, okay, we suck, but we still love Cam Newton.
He got COVID, and then he came back all messed up, bro. It was crazy.
So, I just want to bring some more excitement back. I have a lot of hopes for the coach, like I explained to you, I think on a few podcasts ago that we were talking about how having a coach like Gerard Mayo is kind of the ilk of some of these other teams around the league where you have that old defensive guy or played on the team and just is one of the homies. You know what I mean? So he understands things and he understands the guy. So we do have a young core defense. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do to fill a lot of those gaps on offense in the draft. Maybe it's gonna be different, right? Like, we're used to seeing the Patriots constantly trade out, just to get assets. But I think they're gonna approach it differently this time. I think they're gonna go actually after skilled positions that we need. So that will definitely bring excitement. So I think this first draft is going to be really important to see what this new era of New England is going to bring.
Yeah, Vic, what you got?
And what I've been hearing, KK, is that the Patriots are honed in on Jaden Daniels, but apparently so are the Washington Commanders. So look to see if the Commanders take Jaden Daniels at 2, then the Patriots pivot, go with Marvin Harrison Jr. at 3, and then maybe a Bo Nix, who they've been scouting at in the second round.
So
love that.
Weird thing about the Commanders, I'm hearing that they're shifting away from quarterback now because they signed Marcus Mariota. And they're thinking, I know, right? This is what I was reading today. Is like they're thinking him unless they can find a trade partner for whoever the bum was last year that did kind of good.
Howell.
Oh yeah, that bum. They're saying for him to be competition with them. So that's a route that they may go to take and maybe draft Marvin Harrison Jr. at 2, is what I've been seeing.
Wow.
So,
that would be huge.
Yeah, whoever has the balls between 1, 2, and basically 3 to take him first will probably be thanking themselves 20 years from now. Like, think about it. Chicago, they can literally just draft him and have Fields, and they'll be fine. Who's after them? Washington, obviously. Just put him on that team with McLaurin, they'll be fine. Find the quarterback, you'll figure it out. And then obviously with you guys, like, you'll be fine. You just draft him and figure it out. So
I will say that Calvin Johnson Jr. never won a championship, never won a playoff game.
That wasn't his fault. He played for Detroit.
I know, but I'm just saying a wide receiver is not gonna make you a playoff team, whereas a quarterback, as we've seen CJ Stroud come in, can change a team.
But if you get yourself like a Jamar Chase, you get to the Super Bowl pretty quickly.
But Joe Burrow.
Yes, fair. I mean, yes, you have points. But on the flip side, though, damn. I mean, yeah, that is actually a fact. Colin Cowherd talks about this all the time. Like, he's like, a wide receiver is not just going to win you a Super Bowl. And he started just naming people. I was like, damn, he's right. So a lot of, it's true. But like Tyreek Hill, he's got his. But like with Miami, he may never even win one anymore. Like, the talent is there. It's just now he's the big guy on campus. So yeah, you got a point. And then A-Rod, what you got next?
We can go to AFC North. I'll run through these as quick as possible. Baltimore, big addition. Derrick.
Let's do the highlights.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Derrick Henry's a big signing, and then they got a deal for Justin Matabuki. Lost a lot of players though. Tyler Huntley, Dalvin Cook, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Melvin Gordon, Odell Beckham Jr., Devin Duvernay, Morgan Moses, John Simpson, Kevin Ziltler, Davian Clowney, Kevin Van Noy, Patrick Queen, Ronald Darby, Geno Stone. That's a lot of players on your team that are gone now. Cincinnati, the big signing here is Zach Moss and Geno Stone. Departures, lost a lot too. Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, Irv Smith, Mitchell Wilcox, go Bulls. I only put it there for that reason. Jonah Williams, DJ Reader, Awuzie, and then the question of T. Higgins. He wants a trade, he wants out. So I keep seeing him linked to the Patriots, though.
Or he just wants to get paid. That's a bargaining chip at the end of the day. He may not actually want to trade, but like Lamar Jackson didn't actually want to trade. But yeah.
Yeah. Cleveland Browns, the only additions here really are Jameis Winston and Jerry Judy they traded for. Re-signed Desarius Smith, and they lose Joe Flacco and Kareem Hunt. Steelers get Russell Wilson, Patrick Queen, and Dante Jackson in the trade for Deontay Johnson. They lose Deontay Johnson, Quan Alexander, Patrick Peterson. That's about it.
So let's pivot. Russell Wilson. Sammy, talk to me. This is a thing. I like the move personally. What do you think?
I told you I wanted him in New England, so I mean, I can't be a hypocrite and say, oh, they're gonna suck. But I mean, it's really funny to see that the Vegas odds didn't really change much now that he went there. So
of course not yet, not yet at least.
Yeah. So I think it's a good move. We'll see how it all plays out. It's a good,
But
I like to bash Mike Tomlin sometimes, but I got.
He's a better fit than he's better, clearly better than what they got on there. What's his name? Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett. And the trash that was behind them that just left again. So to me, I like it. What do you think, Vic?
No, you have to do what you have to do with Russell Wilson. You know who's going to find a landing spot. I think everybody's going to try to convince themselves that he still has a little bit left in the tank. He's definitely an upgrade from Kenny Pickett, but it remains to be seen if his mobility is still there, if he still has the ability to escape the pass rush like he used to, and be able to deliver that deep ball to whoever he has streaking down the field there. Pittsburgh, I'm never worried about them finding wide receivers. They're known for it. So losing Deontay Johnson, although seems like a big loss right now, probably won't mean anything in a few years. So
to me, that was addition by subtraction. So that to me, they did a very good job because when you show that you've given up on the team, because the eye in the sky does not lie. You Spygate people know that, right? So I just my bad. I don't know. He just came out.
But that's twice already. I mean, we didn't do anything. We're just
I know.
The handicap.
But
rent free his head. Rent free.
It's not even. It just came out, bro. It just came out. But anyway, the eye in the sky don't lie. Like, he didn't want to be there. You know what I mean? So like, fuck, don't leave. Bye. So to me, that's gonna Pickens now is going to be the focal point. So he don't got to be a crybaby. He's going to get all the targets. And they got, was it Calvin Austin or something like that? He's pretty nice. He's gonna get better. Pat Fryermuth, he's good. Jalen Warren out the backfield. Fantasy purposes, just I'm drafting him early because Russell likes to check it down a lot to the running back. So I want that. Jalen Warren. Yeah, I want that Jalen Warren stock. But I like it, man. I think it works. Everybody got anything to add to that?
I was watching listening to Louis Riddick today, and he was saying, don't think that Russell's already given the keys to be the starter, that he's going to have to compete with Kenny Pickett. And I kind of don't believe that. I don't think they would go and get that.
What's the competition? Kenny Pickett?
I agree.
He got small hands. You see Russell Wilson's hands?
Yeah. I agree 100% with that. I'm just saying what he was, and he was an NFL exec too. So like he knows some stuff maybe we don't know. Plus there's draft capital with the Kenny Pickett thing. Like you wasted a pick on that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the people upstairs are like, we drafted this kid for a reason. Appreciate getting Russell Wilson, but I think Mike Tomlin is also tired of having children in his locker room every freaking year, and he has to put up with that shit. So he's like, can you get me a grown-ass man to run this offense? Someone that they will listen to, even if he comes up with a corny line like Steele got it, something like that. Like, I don't care what it is this year, but just let this man have an adult in the room finally.
Yeah, the reason why Mike Tomlin and Ben Roethlisberger work so well together is because they clashed all the time. And to me, he doesn't want to have to teach a quarterback. That's not his specialty. I got to teach this quarterback. He wants to just be like, yo, you handle that shit so I can focus on this shit. You know what I mean? So you can't get that with these young kids that you keep drafting that need to figure themselves out. You drafted Mason Rudolph, Big Ben straight up said, yeah, I ain't helping him. So he gonna figure it out, bro. I mean, he's had to nurture these kids over the last few years. What was his name? Duck. Duck something. What was his name? Duck Johnson or some shit like that. Like they've had a lot of just yeah. So to me, it's a great little thing. But before you move on to the next division, Lewis Riddick, if he says something, I believe it. Like I love his brain though. I think he's a smart ass dude when he talks about football. Like
it's a little bit weird to say that though. It's a little weird to say that, but when you stop and think about it, like there is high draft capital with this kid. We gotta even like looking at the Jets. I know the Jets is not the team to compare it to because we're a shitstorm and a dumpster fire every year. But if Mike White is winning and this kid Zach Wilson doesn't have a command of the locker room, there's capital there. And Mike White told me from his mouth at the barbershop that was the reason he didn't play because there
Shameless plug.
It is what it is.
But the reason he didn't play was what? Because
Zach Wilson was a high draft pick.
Oh yeah, that's common. I mean, that's just normal. It's like the owner is going to come down to your locker room. You see it in movies. Yeah, I drafted him number 7. Make sure he's in the game. So you see it in movies, bro. It's clear as day. All right, who we got next?
AFC South, Houston Texans.
They came up.
Joe Mixon, Danielle Hunter, and Jeff Okudah. They re-signed Dalton Schultz. They don't really lose anybody worth a shit. Just filler guys, kind of, except for maybe Kareem Jackson. Indianapolis franchise tagged and signed Michael Pittman. They lose nobody really big, maybe Gardner Minshew, whoop-de-doo. Jacksonville Jaguars, they get Mac Jones, Gabe Davis, Ronald Darby, and Darnell Savage. They re-signed Ernst Johnson. That's just for the Go Bulls. Josh Allen franchise tag and signed. They lose Calvin Ridley. That's a big one. Tennessee Titans, they add Tony Pollard and Calvin Ridley.
They gained him, yeah. They gained some offense for real.
Yeah, they gained a lot. They got Kenneth Murray too from the Chargers, Wouzier, and they finally move on from Tannehill, and they lose obviously Derrick Henry, which is big.
Big one. Isn't it funny that they pay all this money to go get Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins last year, and go get Tony Pollard, and AJ Brown only getting paid $6 million or $8 million more as an Eagle? Like they could have literally kept that shit in house for a couple more $1 million, and they didn't want to give it to him. So to me, jokes on them. They're still kind of not going to be. They're still going to be finishing last in the division for some time, in my opinion. But I want to pivot back to your boy Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence down there in Jacksonville. Sammy, I want you to talk to me about this one. So Trevor, obviously number 1 pick. He was supposed to be the second coming of Peyton Manning. It hasn't happened yet. We don't know. I mean, it's not. We're not saying that it's not. His first year was Urban Meyer, and that was a shit show in itself. And then he gets Dougie P, and he's doing a lot better. And then last year he seems like he regressed a little bit again. So he obviously had that big comeback in the playoffs a year ago. So that was like a nice highlight moment. Went to Waffle House. Shout out to him. But I say this to say this: y'all obviously are just coming from Mac Jones. So what do you think the dynamic is in between those two, Sam? Between Mac and Trevor? Do you think this is obviously Trevor's job, but does Mac Jones feel some type of way? I don't know.
He's back home.
Yeah.
I think Mac Jones needs a reset. I feel really, really bad for him. I think there was a lot of potential there. I think just the trash situation that Bill Belichick put that kid in is just, and I think this is the perfect place for him, right? Like this guy's like the QB whisperer. He gets the best. Doug Peterson gets the best out of whatever quarterback he has. I wouldn't really say Trevor Lawrence regressed. But if anything, they just kind of leveled off, and I think they had a little bit bigger of a target on their head. But I think the dynamic's going to be fine. But I guarantee you, like, I wouldn't be surprised if, we see a situation where if Trevor just doesn't seem to be doing much, if Mac comes in there and shows something, he'll step up and take it. But again, it's all up here.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is that?
Oh, probably like a 3, 2. Like, yeah.
So you don't think it's that likely?
No. But I think
you wouldn't be surprised.
I'm like this with why Doug Peterson did that so quickly.
How quickly? How are you, like all the way like this, or are you kind of like this?
No, I'm all the way like this. Like, why did he do that so quick? Like as soon as he's released, then he gets picked up right away. So yeah, I was like, yo.
I thought he got traded.
Traded 6 rounds. But it was so quick. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like,
interessante. I don't know. That was a little weird to me. What do you think about that, A-Rod?
I mean, I think it's a good pick. It's a good reset for him. And if something happens to Trevor Lawrence, he's NFL ready to go. I mean, he's played in a starting capacity, so I think it's always good to have a backup quarterback. And I think that's what was kind of hampering the Jacksonville Jaguars for a while, is not having a decent backup. So I think it's a good get for them. I feel bad for Mac Jones too. I think there's more than meets the eye with him as far as like the type of player that he is. I just think the Patriots, like Sammy said, no diss to Bill Belichick. We all agree that I think he's lost a pep in his step the way he runs the team now, and Mac Jones there just wasn't set up for success as far as product on the field to throw to. So,
you know, it's crazy. Like the thing with the thing with Bill Belichick, when you have Tom Brady for 20 years, it's so easy to start slipping a little bit, because at the end of the day, well, at least we got Tom. Like, no matter what the hell is going on in New England or from 01 to 2000, 2020, whatever, no matter what, at least we got Tom in the building.
KK has nothing. I know you're looking at it from the outside. It has, and Vic can probably vouch for this too. It has nothing to do with that. Bill knows exactly what's going on in the league. Bill just didn't think that he thought he could get away with
offensively. You think offense? Because
absolutely. If this team
outside of Randy Moss, what offensive move did he make over those last 20 years?
All right. So we sell tickets when we're 8-8, right? And we're barely spending any money. You think Kraft is sitting there like, oh, let's go spend some more money so we can put more butts in the seats? Absolutely fucking not. He's like, we won 6. Let's freaking chill for a little bit, right? Like, let's just hang out. Let's reap the benefits. We're still gonna sell out. It's freaking bullshit, man. This team is cheap, just like Vic said. This team is so cheap. I want to see what these young guys can do, but so cheap.
Vic, I need you to follow up. Like, can you please follow whatever you just said and make it your own? Like, do you agree with everything he's saying?
I never thought in my lifetime I would see such poor ownership from 2 owners in Massachusetts as I've seen from the Red Sox and the Kraft family. Not only are they incredibly cheap with the Patriots, they're even cheaper with the New England Revolution, refusing to build an MLS stadium, constantly pushing back on any changes that the MLS might make on salary cap issues, because they don't want to pay people. The Kraft family is cheap as fuck, and honestly, it's hindered the team immensely. A little bit of that's on Belichick, but it starts at the top, and the Kraft family needs to start owning up for their sins, and they have been awful. Ownership has been terrible, and I think the Brady Belichick era has whitewashed their poor ownership and made them look better than they have been, when really in reality they are probably the cheapest, some of the cheapest ownership in the league. They refuse to spend money. Mac Jones didn't have a chance to succeed in New England. He's going to Jacksonville, where he'll have the best supporting cast he's had in his 4 years in the league or whatever. So I'm with Sammy. I wouldn't be surprised if he overtook Trevor Lawrence.
Scale of 1 to 10. How likely is that?
I'm a little bit higher than Sammy. I'm a 5.
Ooh, that's putting some of your chips in right there.
Well, and you think about the draft capital that the Jacksonville Jaguars spent to get him. They only gave up a 6th-round pick, so it was worth the flyer for them. But even so, why spend that capital when you could have gotten an easy backup on the open market, on the free agency market? There's still cheaper options that you wouldn't have to give up that draft capital for, that they chose to give up for Mac Jones. And I think Mac Jones, I believe, is due for a new contract after this year as well. So, lots of things, something is brewing in Jacksonville. Maybe they got Mac to let a fire under Trevor's ass. But if you look at the stats head to head, Trevor Lawrence hasn't been very much better than Mac Jones. And you can say that they both have had terrible offensive coaches and terrible offensive situations. Now, obviously,
I mean, Dougie P is the man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, after that last year for Trevor Lawrence, he had a much better year. But I wonder if Mac Jones would have had an even better year with that coach and with that offensive personnel that Trevor Lawrence had.
My man.
Wait.
I agree.
Wait. As good as, or better than, or close to Trevor Lawrence with that same offensive coordinator.
Well, if you look at the stats tell you that he would have been better than. But
Sorry,
I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think Mac Jones has the mobility that Trevor Lawrence has. Listen, Trevor Lawrence is a much more talented quarterback than Mac Jones, but how many times have we seen talented quarterbacks just not been able to put it together? I don't think Mac Jones is a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence. If you ask me which one I'd rather have, 100% Trevor Lawrence. But I'm saying that I would not be surprised if Mac Jones had a better season than Trevor Lawrence if he were to come in starting for the Jacksonville Jaguars, which he won't. But if he did, he probably would.
Okay, A-Rod, what you got?
No, I mean, I agree. I want to stick on this whole Mac Jones thing, but
right.
backup. He's a backup. We all know it. So.
Cool. But all right, what's your scale of 1 to 10? What's your scale of 1 to 10 on that?
Like a 2. Okay. Yeah. He if only reason he gets playing time is if something happens to Trevor Lawrence,
which is likely because he seems to be pretty injury prone lately.
Right, yeah. But look what happened to Drew Bledsoe, right? The number 1 overall pick in '96 goes down in his 5th year, loses the job to a 6th-round pick in Tom Brady. So I'm not saying that Mac Jones is Tom Brady, but I'm just saying that this happens in league.
But Matt, you think Jacksonville can have a 20-year run like New England? Hell no. Their ownership is not good enough.
We're just talking about how poor the ownership was in New England.
Yeah. That was a little. Go ahead, A-Rod. Take before we go dwell on this too long.
All right. Wrapping up the AFC, we got the West. Denver Broncos additions. Drum roll, please. Nothing. Resign Will Lutz, and they lose some big hitters here. Russell Wilson, Jerry Jeudy in the trade. Cut their all-pro safety and Justin Simmons. Kansas City Chiefs, the only thing they really added was Matt Ariana, the rapist. Good for them. They resign Chris Jones, Drew Tranquill, and they're working on the L'Jarius Sneed franchise tag. They lose a lot of the key players on the team that have been there for a while. Jerick McKinnon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, McCole Hardman, MVS, and Donovan Smith. Raiders, they add Gardner Minshew and Christian Wilkins. They lose Jimmy Garoppolo, Josh Jacobs, Hunter Renfrow, normal guys you see on the team there. And then the Chargers, all they did was add Gus Edwards. They lose a lot. Austin Eckler, Josh Kelly, Mike Williams, Gerald Everett, Eric Kendricks, and Kenneth Murray. That's a lot to lose.
So let's start with the Chargers real quick, because you wanted to talk about that. So they bring in my dog, Mr. Harbaugh, got me a championship this year. I'm very grateful for it, and more power to him. But he's walking into a market where everyone still considers the top 5 quarterback, whether you agree or not. He's about top 5. That's what the pundits were saying. An old boy from Oregon. And a lot of shit was lost, and they had to because they were in cap hell. They were like they got fucked by the last group. So, new coach, Justin Herbert, and then a lot of just what ifs, like what's going to happen next. With Harbaugh being there, Vic, how likely is it that we'll see the Chargers be relevant in the next 3 years? You think what do you think is this window going to look like right now? Because it's obviously a lot of rebuilds.
Well, the Chargers are going to charge, right? So they've been doing this shit for 20 years with 6 different quarterbacks. You know what I mean? They'll always be relevant. I don't think that they're not relevant. They're a playoff team. They'll always be a playoff team. The question is, can they get over that hump this year with John Harbaugh? Remains to be seen. He's had his issues in the NFL, but he's also had his success. He's coached Super Bowl teams before. I think that he can have that kind of impact here with a young quarterback in Justin Herbert, who is, in my opinion, one of the best in the league. top 5 at least that I would like to have on my team. So, yeah, I think that they are relevant right away.
I like how you put that. Who I would like to have on my team, because that's actually a very good way to start looking at people's like top fives. Is like, who would I want to have on my team, right? So that was really well said. A-Rod.
I think for the Chargers, it's Vic hit the nail on the head, man. They do this all the time, and they always put a good product on the field somehow. But I feel like there's a lot of holes they have to fill now.
Yes.
Pause. So I mean, not having
That's wild.
yeah.
Where's that comic? Where's that comment at?
No Diddy.
But I mean, you obviously had Austin Eckler, who was disgruntled last year and wanted to get paid. You didn't pay him. Mike Williams, who you gave an extension to, a pretty big extension, proved to us that he can't stay healthy.
They had to do it.
Yeah, so they cut him. Gerald Everett is like the most underappreciated tight end in the league. I don't care where he goes, but like I feel like him and Lane Thomas are the two guys that just find
Well,
ways.
Thomas is old now, but Everett, he's a dog.
Yeah. Like that's and even at that, you cut the backup running back in Joshua Kelly too. So it's a little strange to see what's going on there. I wonder what their draft capital looks like as far as like how many picks they have. They must have quite a few, and they're going to be targeting guys to be big time replacements for him. But now it bothers me for the hell's the kid's name, the quarterback? Why am I drawing a blank? Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
It bothers me for him because now you got Keenan Allen, who's always getting hurt. They took that kid last year from whatever college he went to, Texas.
TCU.
Yeah, and he ain't it. Maybe he takes the second year leap. We don't know, but
I mean, Mike Williams is gone now, so like this is like his like, yo, this is your second, you number 2 now. And Keenan Allen is 32, 33.
But he's always hurt. And Jordan Palmer's pretty
Joshua.
good. Josh Palmer, yeah.
Yeah.
So
and to answer your question as far as draft picks, so they have the 5th overall pick. They have 1 second, 1 third, 1 fourth, 1 fifth, 1 sixth, 2 7. So they have a very 8 picks in 7 rounds. You know, they're all going to be 537. So like early in every round. So they get the top 5 pick between 1 and 7. Between round 1 and 7. So there's value. I mean, pick 5 and 37. If you have a good GM, you can knock it out the park. Because like people don't realize first round pick is whatever. From 32 to like 60, a lot of gems get found there. 32 to like 84, honestly. I mean, you find like a Puka Nacua, you find all these type of players. I'm like, damn. Russell Wilson, we just thought he was just sitting there in the 4th. So to me, they have the opportunity to get that. I don't know how quickly it'll take for me. I think you don't bring in Harbaugh. Like, all right, so when they brought in John Gruden to Oakland when he was with the Raiders, I feel like they're taking over a very similar situation where they're like, God, we're just not there. And they had their franchise guy, they had Herbert. He took over with Derek Carr, right? Yeah. So do you think you got your guy? So we assume they got the guy, but something's just really not working out. So to me, I don't know how patient they are because they're the little brother franchise in the city. You know what I mean? Like Rams home games is packed. Chargers home games is the other team. You know what I mean? So there's really no pressure for them, especially when you have Patrick Mahomes in your division. Like, who cares? Like,
on top of that too, like the entire division got worse. I mean, outside of Kansas City just is doing their best to bring back everybody that they can. They don't need to change anything in house. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
But the Broncos, they wiped out the whole offense, and they're one of their best defensive players. The Raiders just hit the reset button. It looks like new coach, new look, and then the Chargers, same thing, new coach, new look. They got rid of everybody. Just like the Chargers of the old, all the players you used to know on the team, they're all gone now.
Yeah,
that's Herbert and Eckler, or not
Eckler. I still miss LaDainian Tomlinson. He's one of my favorite football players of all time.
My favorite running back, but. Yeah, it's going to be a shit show in that. Remember, like a year or two, how we were saying, "Damn, this is a really scary division."
Bruh. It was supposed to be this. Vic, do you remember that when AFC West was supposed to be like, "Oh my God, they got Derek Carr, Khalil Mack, and this, and everybody was just hot." It was supposed to be the Broncos with Russ, It was supposed to be the Chiefs, obviously with Mr. Mahomes. It was supposed to be the Chargers with at that time Herbert was still there, right? Yeah, so it's Justin Herbert, and then who am I missing? Uh,
Garoppolo or not
Derek
Garoppolo was
yeah,
Derek Carr.
no, Derek
Derek
Carr.
Carr.
Yeah, so like it was you thought you got it, and it's been shit. You know, like honestly, and you just said it got worse in your opinion. And so Kansas City, you know what this is, Vic? You know what this is, Vic? You know how remember when Tom Brady started just running shit in the AFC East? The Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins were trash for a long time. Y'all was getting 5 minimum, 6 most of the time wins in that division every single year. It was guaranteed. It was like you're spotting yourself 5.5. You know what I mean? Like, and now you think Kansas City's in that spot right now where they just every team just makes all these panic moves because Patrick Mahomes is there?
No, I don't think it's as bad as that. I really do think the Chargers are going to be better this year, even though they lost Austin Eckler. We've seen time and time again how these running backs are replaceable. So that doesn't bother me as much. I think the Chargers have a good defense, still a good defense. Most of that defense is coming back, especially the pass rusher. But
I heard they're looking for a trade partner for Bosa and Khalil Mack.
Yeah, Khalil Mack, no, he just restructured today.
Okay, so Bosa, they have a restructure.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I did because at the end of the day, we think they're going to be good, but they're cap hell. Like they dug themselves a little bit of a hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. But it's not something that it's all funny money in football, dude. It's all funny money. None of that shit matters.
You're right. Yeah.
So you cut a guy the next day. Doesn't matter. You structure a deal here or there, and next thing you know, you have the second most cap space in the league the next year. So yeah. I'm not too worried about cap space. What worries me mostly with the Chargers is execution, and do the players have the ability to get themselves over the line? Now, whether Harbaugh is that guy to take them over the edge, we'll see. I think personally that he is, but I don't know that they're going to be winning the division anytime soon. But I definitely see them as a wild card team. The other two teams in this division, A-Rod is absolutely right. They've only gotten worse. Nothing better there. If anything, they're going to be easier cakewalk. But I think that eventually the Chiefs will have a rival in Los Angeles by the name of the Chargers and Mr. Harbaugh himself.
How far away do you think the Raiders are, though? I mean,
quarterback boy, at least they still need wide receiver talent. I think
Devontae Adams and your boy from New England.
Yeah, but who cares? Devontae Adams is old now.
Listen,
right?
Listen. You like Bo Nix, don't you?
What?
You like Bo Nix, don't you?
I don't like Bo Nix, actually.
Sammy
Who is it? Oh, it's Sammy. Okay. They whatever it is, they're in a position where they can draft themselves a Michael Penix Jr., a JJ McCarthy, a Bo Nix. I mean, do you think that would be the quarterback that they're away from?
I think JJ McCarthy is the sleeper quarterback in this draft, but the issue is that he's going to go much earlier than he should go because of the.
I don't think so.
I think he's going to go top 10 or top 15 at least. I think he's going to be the Mac Jones of this draft, where he's going
Denver has been rumored for him as well. Like when I look at mocks, it's Denver, it's Las Vegas. Yeah, those two I've seen a lot of those, and Minnesota. Those are the three teams that I see the most getting a JJ McCarthy. So we'll see. But to me, I mean, the Raiders, they got a new coach. Antonio Pierce. Obviously, when the Raiders buy in, they buy in. When they had Bisaccia, they bought all the way in for him, and they screwed up by not bringing him back. Mm-hmm. Now they were able to cure their mistake with going after Boy Wonder, knowing that he can't be a head coach, Mr. McDaniels, and bringing back, like Antonio Pierce, who had a good end of the season. So to me, the energy in the locker room is changed. Like everyone's is going to play just a little bit harder for an Antonio Pierce, right? And to me, if they can just get the right quarterback that vibes well with him, the sky could be the limit Are there any free A-Rod? I don't know if you have a list of the available free agents, but can you think of any notable free agents like quarterbacks that might be available right now?
I did my top 10, and there's no good quarterback free agents that I had on it.
Well, all right, we'll see what they do with the draft. All right, let's go to NFC.
All right, NFC, we started the East. Cowboys, drum roll, please. What did they add? Let's say it together.
Long snapper.
Exactly.
Well, it wasn't an ad. They just re-signed him, right?
Yeah. So
Let's go, Jerry. You doing a good
Ads-
job, Jerry.
adds and resigns, nothing worthwhile. Departures are losing Tony Pollard, Tyron Smith, and Stephen Gilmore. Those are
That was
three-
surprising, the Tony Pollard one. Nobody said a peep about that even being a possibility. That won't call me off
It's
guard.
like you get rid of Tony Pollard, and then who do you add after all these?
I think
You have a
Zeke's
million.
coming back. I think Zeke is coming back.
They were really looking at. They thought I kept praying. I was like, please. They kept saying Derrick Henry might go to the Cowboys. I was like, please no, please no. And then when I saw he signed with Baltimore, I was like, yo, they just missed out on everybody. Like, who's available?
100%.
Anybody on the top 10 list running back?
No.
Damn.
No.
Who was their backup last year?
They don't even have the only one they have is that little tiny guy, Deuce or whatever his name was.
For
Maybe
whatever.
Dalvin Cook. Maybe a Dalvin Cook in Dallas, possibly.
The hell are you gonna do there? That Zeke couldn't do. Like, nah, they're screwed,
nothing.
bro.
They're bringing back Zeke, man. They're bringing back Zeke. Jerry loves his old boys.
They're screwed.
Yeah, I don't care. All right, let's go to the next team. Giants. They're equally as screwed.
Their defense got better.
They had Drew Lock, Devin Singletary, and they trade to get Brian Burns. That's good. They lose Tyrod Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard, finally. Justin Pugh, Isaiah Simmons, who they traded for in season, Adoree Jackson, and Xavier McKinney.
What running back? What running back did you say?
The one that you just signed, Saquon Barkley.
Sorry, I don't think they're. What's the name?
Saquon Barkley.
What's the name? What's the name? Hey, what's the name?
Eagles add Saquon Barkley, Bryce
Who?
Love, Zach Bond, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You re-signed Landon Dickerson, Brandon Graham, and Jake Elliott, making him the most expensive kicker known to man. Which departures: Marcus Mariota, Rashad Penny, Boston Scott, DeAndre Swift, Julio Jones, Quez Watkins, Kelsey retired, Fletcher Cox retired, Zach Cunningham, Shaq Leonard, Avonte Maddox, Bradley Roby, and Kevin Byard. It's a lot of
We
players.
ain't lose nobody. Vontae Maddox is the only one that I missed. He gonna come back. We're gonna redo his deal. Trust me. So if we can go get think about it real quick. If we can go get C.J. Gardner-Johnson to come back home, we can. Well, who we want, dog? We
All
can.
right, let me get through the rest of the division. All right, Commanders are the last one. All they get is Mariota, Austin Eckler, Zach Ertz, Cleveland Farrell, Frankie Lavu, who had a really good season last year, Bobby Wagner, and then departures: Antonio Gibson, Curtis Samuel, Logan Thomas, and Kendall Fuller, who's a big free agent right now if you need a cornerback. So there you go. There's the AFC East. NFC, I'm sorry.
Hey, shit. All I know. Hey, all right, Vic. Obviously, you know, I'm bragging.
Eagles too long here, okay?
No, I don't have nothing to say anymore. I actually am curious because I'm the only one that's spoken about the Eagles, so I'm obviously coming from a place of a little bit of bias, right? So I want to get an inside, just a different point of view, Vic, of what do you think about how we're doing in these first 72 hours, basically, of free agency.
You do what you did last year, right? You went free agency. That's what the Eagles did last year as well. And didn't get it very far, unfortunately. But did they upgrade? I don't know that. I know that a lot of people are going to say, it's a huge upgrade from DeAndre Swift to Saquon Barkley. But if you look at Saquon Barkley's injury history, I mean, best ability is availability, right? Is Saquon more talented? 100%. Is he going to be there 16 games, 17 games, 18 games, how many games they have? Remains to be seen. They gave him a lot of money, about like $11 million a year, something like that, or $12 million a year, something like that. To come
Can
back.
I just say this? Just say this? Christian McCaffrey had the same injury problem in Carolina. He goes to San Francisco, completely dominant over the last couple of years. And Saquon was relatively healthier last year than years past, obviously, right?
It's the O-line that's going to make a difference.
And say that one more time, Rod.
It's the O-line that's going to make a difference for him.
One more time for the people in the back.
Let's focus on the Cowboys here, all right? Because that's
what is there to focus on? They didn't do shit.
They didn't do shit. So my question is this window closing for the Cowboys unless they pull some crazy shit out their ass in the next couple days or so?
Let me answer this question real quick.
Because right now they have them still winning the division.
As the resident NFC East person here, let me answer this question. The Cowboys are actually perfectly fine. When you talk about some of the departures, they got to figure out running back, obviously. They got to replace Tyron Smith. But
three big names on that team are going to have to get big contracts.
Dak is playing his last year of his deal on guarantee. Remember last week when we talked about some of the top rumors that are coming out of that came out of the combine? It's been multiply reported by a lot of reporters now that Dak Prescott, there's definitely no guarantee that he's getting his next big contract. CD, they'd be foolish not to give it to him. And who's the other one? You said the third. Who's the third?
Michael Parsons.
I mean, they're going to give him the bread. They're going to give him the bread. So think about it.
I don't know. Mike is the one that seems expendable between the three of them.
They're not. Trust me. I agree with you as a person who watches them every time because I have to. He pops off the screen a couple times a game. Talented, yes, but he doesn't like move it for me like a TJ Watt or a Myles Garrett do, right? So I agree with you, but the marketing behind him, they're not letting him go anywhere. Like he's there. So him and CD, they're not going anywhere. Dak, half the city doesn't want him there anymore. He got his mother tweeting and his brother tweeting and Dak and CD's mom is tweeting. Like everybody, like that's some shit they don't need in the locker room anymore. And you remember, like Tony Romo was supposed to be the guy in Dallas. You saw how quickly one summer changed everything. One little back injury, Tony Romo's in the booth. You know what I mean? So to me, I think they've gotten to that point in which, all right, we're close, but this shit ain't. We got to move on. And when they got Dak, they were so happy. They're like, Tony, thank you for your time. Got to go. They had a great season, and since then they've been number 1 or 2 in the division every month. I mean, every season. So to me, they're getting the most out of him, but they've reached that. All right, who's next? And to me, if they identify somebody in this draft, or if Trey Lance, remember we talked about it last week, if Trey Lance is showing some shit in camp, and we see him start week 4, and bye Dak. You want to talk about Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence? You can't forget who San Francisco traded all the picks away to go get. Something is obviously there, and if Dallas has found it, Dak is expendable. I ain't paying $60 million. I ain't gonna pay $60 million to lose in the wild card every year. No, I'm not doing that. So we'll see. That's all I got on that. But to answer the question, A-Rod, there it is.
Yeah, I like what the Commanders did too. I feel like they put more of a complete offense out there now.
What did they do?
Austin Eckler at running back. They haven't had a really good running back in a while.
Brian Robinson got shot.
I don't care if you got shot. He's not that good.
He
doesn't turn the head.
He
doesn't turn the head for me. Zach Ertz can still play.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, and then the defense that they added, Frankie Lavulu, he's really good in my opinion as far as tackling. Bobby Wagner brings some kind of adult into the locker room amongst all the kids there. Cleveland Farrell, we know how he feel about him. Biggest bust in the draft, but he did.
Right. Everybody that you've named does not move me at all. Zach Ertz is old. He lost his job to a better tight end in Arizona. Louvu, he was expendable. He had a good season because they're on defense 80% of the time.
I'm saying it's good for Washington. I'm not saying it's great. I don't want any of these players on my team except Austin.
To me, they have not done shit. Austin Eckler had a bad year last year. Like he
because he was shit. They want to get paid.
Nah, he just had a bad year. He's old now. He's a year older. To me, Washington has gotten worse. Out of all, like the Cowboys stayed the same. The Giants, we'll see how that goes. And then I think we did pretty well. Washington to me as the only team to me in the division that clearly got worse. The way I'm seeing it.
The Giants.
Wagner's old.
The Giants got way worse.
Giants got way worse.
Way worse. They got Brian Burns.
Defense anymore.
So what? That's one guy on defense.
Okay. I mean,
despite popular belief, offense wins games. If you can't score points, you can't win. So they lost their best offensive weapon, Saquon Barkley. If it didn't already happen, I was seeing that they were thinking about cutting Daniel Jones. Saw that somewhere on Twitter. I don't know how true that was.
Can't.
I
But
don't know about
he's dog shit.
that.
I mean, the offensive line is still trash. They haven't signed anything on the offensive line yet. I think they got John Runyon from Green Bay. But I mean, what did they add that moved you? The Commanders. I have to agree with A-Rod here. The Commanders have a much better offense than they did last year. Zach Ertz can still ball. I still believe that.
Him and Logan Thomas, what was the difference?
Logan Thomas just sits in the end zone like this. That's all he does.
Yeah.
They're the same over the last 2-3 years. They're exactly the
Like
same.
in fantasy, Logan Thomas is like this.
I think Washington is a quarterback away from being a contender for the division. I'm still would pick Philly every day of the week, but as a contender, like, can they mix it up with Philly? Can they? And they already could. They had all close games last year between the Cowboys and the Eagles. So I think they're still a quarterback away, but they're knocking on the door of the division eventually. Maybe once they get a quarterback.
Okay, you might be right. All right, who next?
NFC North, Chicago Bears add DeAndre Swift, Gerald Everett, and Kevin Byard. Re-sign Jalen Johnson on the tag. They lose the running back Bell Cow and Donta Foreman. Finally, Darnell Mooney's gone. What a bust that's been. Yannick Ngakoue and Eddie Jackson, who's been there the longest. Lions add Marcus Davenport and Carlton Davis from the Bucks, traded for him today. They re-signed the kicker Bagley. That's the saving grace for them because they couldn't have a kicker all year. Teddy Bridgewater retires. Donovan Peoples-Jones is gone.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Josh Reynolds is gone. C.J. Garner-Johnson is gone. Packers add Josh Jacobs. I don't know why.
Weird.
Add safety Xavier McKinney. They lose both running backs and Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. David Bakhtiari and Darnell Savage. Vikings add Sam Darnold, Aaron Jones, Andrew Van Ginkel. They lose Kirk Cousins, the Pastronaut, Alexander Madison, KJ Osborne, Davenport, Danielle Hunter, and Anthony Barr.
Hold on. Who's the Pastronaut?
Joshua Dobbs.
Okay.
All right.
Why is he that? Hold on. Why is that?
He's like a what?
He interned for NASA. He's like a
he did.
Like a space physicist.
I love that. That's such a sick nickname. Oh my god.
He's cool. No, he's a dope dude. Alopecia and everything. He's a dope dude. All right. To me, the NFC North is a lot of interesting shit happened actually. Like everybody has a story. So let's run through them real quick. First and foremost, Justin Fields. He's still a member of the Bears. Where I was told his GM said it, or the president said it. We would want to trade him before free agency. It would be fair, right? Free agency has ran off, and Atlanta's closed now.
So what I was going to allude to really quick was that Atlanta had it in the books to get him, but when they were courting Kirk Cousins, once again, put that man's agent in the Hall of Fame. However, he one playoff win, one fucking playoff win.
He's the GOAT.
And they're not going to say no to that. They get the guy that they really, really want. So
yeah. Yo, Kirk Cousins' agent, there's no debate. Drew Rosenhaus is a dog. Don't get me wrong, but the amount of money that Kirk Cousins has made in his career off of being average is the biggest heist I've seen since Lufthansa in Goodfellas. Like this shit is magnificent. Like damn. So big ups to what I don't even know what his name is. Put him in Canton right now. Like. Immortalize that shit. But all right, so A-Rod. I'll go to you, Vic. Justin Fields, right?
Yep.
What the hell? What are we supposed to do with this?
If I am the GM, I'm gonna put my GM hat on, right? I don't know if you guys have seen that movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner, but I'm Kevin Costner in that movie right now, right? And here's what I'm gonna do here. All right, it's Draft Day, right? First phone call I pick up. Hello, is this Robert Kraft of the New England Patriots? How about you guys give me the third overall pick? Give me your third this year, your second next year, and your fourth next year as well. And say, okay, boom, Done. And I keep Justin Fields. I draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and then I call it a day. I think Justin Fields has the ability to be I'm going to steal from your team, KK. I think the difference between him and Jalen Hurts is not as far as everybody thinks. I think they can be the same player.
Yeah, skill set wise, I 1,000% agree.
I think Jalen Hurts is putting more into a more mature organization and more mature team.
And he's also more mature.
And the Bears are mature. I just think they just can't get it right with what they draft and what they sign and what they get. And it's like you get pieces and flashes that look good, but it's like everybody focuses on the quarterback. So it all falls on Justin Fields' shoulders every time, and he's got to take the blame. And I think he's just like, he can't deal with it anymore. It's just too much for him. And I get that. He's still young, so.
Let's not forget, the Bears have never had a quarterback. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck.
Chill on my boy Jay Cutler, bro.
The Bears have never had a quarterback. Jay Cutler is the worst NFL player of all time. I'm going to put it right there.
That's shit. What's wrong with you?
No. Me and Jay Cutler, we don't vibe, bro. We don't vibe, dog. His facial expressions used to get on my nerve. Anyway, but yeah, so they can't get right at quarterback. So we already know that. I mean, it's like basically the Cleveland Browns, right? We already just know you're better off somewhere else. So to me, if I'm in their situation, I have the number one pick. I don't want to be the GM that didn't draft Caleb Williams. If you draft Caleb Williams and he's a bust, well, you did what everybody else was going to do. If you draft Caleb Williams and he's great, you were supposed to do that, right? He comes in on a rookie contract. Meanwhile, Justin Fields, you got to pay the man a lot of money, and that's going to really handicap your team. You might as well go with somebody who has pretty similar talent, and if you have the right type of training in the locker room, you get the cheaper talent for the same type of player. But what you think, Vic?
I want to compare this draft to the NBA draft. What was it? The 2018 draft, where Jason Tatum, Markelle Fultz, and Lonzo Ball, right? Everybody in the world thought Markelle Fultz was the home run at one.
Not me. Not me.
Okay, but not me as well. But there's no GM in the world that was not going to take Markelle at one, right?
Jason Tatum was clearly I don't know how people. The dude. Remember Orlando was like, yeah, we getting Paolo, right? The best player at Duke, who's actually really good and he's not soft. Yeah, you go get that dude.
You didn't think Paolo was good either. You didn't think he was number one.
I didn't think about it, but it worked. You know what I mean? Like you knew it was gonna work.
Hey, maybe you and I saw it, but none of these GMs saw it. So
like Markelle Fultz, the Washington was trash. They were like 10 and 20 or some shit that year.
They couldn't shoot threes, but you know what? Everybody in the league had convinced themselves that he was the number one pick. I am getting Markelle Fultz syndrome from Caleb Williams.
That's extreme, bro. That's extreme.
I'm thinking that Jaden Daniels is going to be the best quarterback in this draft, hands down. When we look at it back 2 years from now, and I cannot wait if I get it wrong, so you can roast me on the podcast, KK. But I just have it in my gut that Jaden Daniels is the number one quarterback in this draft.
If anything, it's like John Morant, Zion, and RJ Barrett. Like all three of them have a case to be the best in that draft.
Yeah, but so did those three in 2018 with the Jason. I was more equating it to the fact that I think that the first two picks, if it goes Caleb Williams and Drake May, are going to disappoint. Whereas I think the third overall pick and
Drake May ain't going to.
And Jaden Daniels, he's going to be the All-Star. He's going to be the All-Pro.
The problem with Drake May is that you can't draft somebody who is already there. You go with the one that's got room to go. Think about it. If Jaden Daniels gets even better the way he is right now, plus, you know what I mean? Like Lamar Jackson was a Heisman winner in Louisville. He's gotten better. He's plus, you know what I mean? To me, the thing with Mac Jones, to me, he couldn't get any better than what he already was. And that's the same thing I see with Drake May. Whatever they think he is right now, that is who he's going to be 15 years from now. So
I agree.
You know what I mean? So I get you with that. Drake May, I hope I'm wrong. But I started hearing comparisons to Justin Herbert. I'm like, all right, please chill out. Please chill out.
Ain't no way. I think it's closer to like Trevor Lawrence than he is. But at least the thing is, like, Trevor Lawrence, he actually won stuff. He actually won games. I mean, North Carolina was not that great in the ACC. Period. They didn't even win the ACC.
Bruh.
You at least have to win your conference.
We saw it with Daniel Jones and Duke. I'm like, bro, whoa, what?
Yeah,
what is
exactly.
This? Same shit to me. So,
yeah. All right, let's go on the other teams, man. I mean, Detroit looks the same. They replaced Carlton Davis and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, even though I think Carlton Davis would trip over his shadow and be out 3 games, but that's just the kind of guy he is.
Talent.
Yeah, talent. Green Bay is a little bit questionable. You got rid of 2-headed running back monsters that you had there for the longest. When one was out, the other one stepped up, and you bring in Josh Jacobs. I personally think Josh Jacobs is the most overrated running back in the league. I think he had 1 year.
I thought you liked Alabama running backs.
I do. But I told you. I told you that year. I was like, it's a payday year for him. He's going to have a big year. And then the next year, what happened? He, digressed.
You're right.
So I just feel like that about Josh Jacobs. I don't think that makes them any better. I think Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon were home run hits that you got there. And then Minnesota is really, really questionable because now I'm thinking like how you said, what's going on in Minnesota. I'm glad Sam Darnold gets to start again if that's what's going to happen. I was really hoping Josh Dobbs was the guy, and I could give you your flowers for that, KK. But
maybe he still is, though. Maybe he still is. Sam Darnold's not a guarantee.
Yeah, no, they have him.
Russell Wilson's not a guarantee. Sam Darnold's not a guarantee.
But if I'm Justin Jefferson and I'm in Minnesota now, like I know they said like we're not trading him. I'm starting to think you just got rid of like the most fun that we had in the locker room was the corniest white dude that shops at what did he say he shops at Costco for his clothes. Yeah. And wears gold chains and gets a diamond out grill. You let him go, and now you've got Sam Darnold. So
damn. If I'm Justin Jefferson, think about it. We should not be surprised if a high level wide receiver in his 4th year gets traded. Like it's become the common thing. Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, God, who name them. There's been that seems to be like the norm. Like we can't afford you, we got to trade you. Stephon Diggs, right? So to me, it won't surprise me if Justin Jefferson ends up elsewhere because Kirk Cousins, no matter what you want to say about him, he's the nicest guy in the NFL. He has no enemies. There's nobody in the NFL that has any issues with him. To me, Sam Darnold might rub somebody the wrong way. Pause. You know what I mean? Like Dobbs, he was good and then he wasn't. You know what I mean? Like still, to me, they need because what we've been saying about the Vikings for the last few years, man, they're just right there. Something is missing because like they've been close. There's just something just seems to be just missing every year, and it could very well have just been as nice as a guy Kirk Cousins is. Imagine Tom Brady choosing the Vikings over Tampa Bay. To me, you might get similar results. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That one's a little tricky. And then with Detroit, I mean, there's going to be this. They're bringing back the same team, in my opinion. The way I see it, next year is going to be exactly the same. We talked about Chicago, and then who's the other one?
Green Bay.
Yeah, the running back situation. I think what hurts the most because talent for talent, Josh Jacobs at his best day versus Aaron Jones at his best day, flip a coin. You know what I mean? But Aaron Jones, the way people felt about him in Green Bay, because like Green Bay is a small town feel. They own the team. Like they're all, it's a small family. As historic as they are, small family, right? To me, Aaron Jones, he put himself into that community, and to me, like they really love Aaron Jones on there. AJ Dillon, what I thought he could be, because I remember he ran for 2,000 plus at Boston College. I was like, man, he might be taking Aaron Jones' job, and he's had plenty of opportunities to take his job because Aaron Jones has been banged up a little bit, and we all know no matter what, when Aaron Jones is in that, that was his team.
Yeah, but
so
when he's been there to take the role, like he filled in perfectly, no problem every time.
He filled in just good enough, but not good enough to take somebody's job. That's the difference.
That's what they wanted. I think they wanted a 1-2 punch with it. Dude, AJ Dillon is fat as shit. Like he's got
Remember, Tony Pollard was just supposed to be just the other guy to Zeke, and he took his job quick.
But that's just also because of youth right there. Those guys are like a year or two apart from each other. They're not like astronomically young or anything like that.
No, oh, we'll see. But yeah, my biggest thing with that one is just that Aaron Jones was the community like guy. So
Yeah.
I do feel bad about that for them.
All right, let's do NFC South. Falcons get Kirk Cousins and Darnell Mooney. Resign nobody. They lose a lot of like glue pieces. Mac Hollins, Van Jefferson, Cordell Patterson, who still has a job. So I don't get it. Jonnu Smith, Bud Dupree, Calais Campbell, Jeff Okuda. Panthers trade to get Deontay Johnson. They lose all the 1 years that they had on their contracts. DJ Chark, Hayden Hurst, Gabe Jackson. Draft pick that they got, Gross Matos, Frankie Lavulu, Brian Birds traded, Shaquille Griffin, CJ Henderson,
Jeez.
Dante Jackson, Von Bell. All their secondary is gone.
Jeez.
Saints add nobody. They re-signed Demario Davis and Tyrann Mathieu. Jameis Winston wrote his name off at the end of the season. Michael Thomas finally moving off from that. Andreas Pete, Zach Bond, and Marcus May. Bucks add Jordan Whitehead, re-signed Mayfield, Mike Evans, Levante David, signed Antonio Winfield. They lose Jensen to being retired. Shaq Barrett, Devin White, Carlton Davis traded.
Yo, and Jason Light was like trying to talk his shit earlier today. He was like, I don't see why people ain't talking about us. We kept everybody. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. But out of everything that you said, the only interesting one for me is how bad I feel for Bryce Young. To me, when you label somebody a bust, and again, we're way too early to call him a bust, but when where quarterbacks get drafted has a lot. I mean, to me, plays such a big impact on whether or not there's going to be bustability. Like to me, you get drafted by Cleveland, you got to really overcome a lot of shit. And he got drafted by Carolina, and he has to overcome a lot of shit. Like the thing about Cam Newton was that he's as big as he is in stature, he's also big. Like that's how he is in like the locker room. Like he commanded everything. To me, Bryce Young is as small as he is in stature. He seems like just a quiet, nice guy, and he's not going to be able to overcome the organizational deficiencies that they have. We're talking about the Giants getting worse. Carolina got way worse, and I know they got Deontay Johnson. Kenny Pickett couldn't deal with Deontay Johnson. Mason Rudolph, like none of those quarterbacks can deal with him. Now you got this young ass quarterback that he has to deal with. Old attitude, spicy ass Deontay Johnson. It's like, damn, I got to deal with him. I'm not getting him the ball enough. And oh man, we got nobody to protect me. The defense sucks. Like, what they've done in that organization. McCaffrey gone. Brian Burns gone. Cam Newton obviously not back. Like to me, they've just been striking out left and right. So Bryce Young, I really do feel bad for him because he may not be able to overcome this, and that's what concerns me the most. I really like him coming out of college. I don't know what you think about that, Vic.
No, nothing really moves me here on the NFC South. Kirk Cousins moving to Atlanta is probably the most intriguing
I like it.
thing, other than what Tampa did. Carolina's dumpster fire, but if you look at Atlanta, the talent that they already have on offense, I think Kirk Cousins is going to really unlock what we hoped Kyle Pitts would become.
Yes.
So I like Atlanta in the NFC South this year, although Tampa, in my opinion, is still a team to beat. I think Atlanta could be sneaky and win the division here.
I think sneaky is an understatement, personally. I think they can just outright win this shit. To me,
I
Atlanta and Tampa Bay are right there.
I think in the case for the South, because there's not a lot to talk about here, in my opinion, too. And same thing with the last division. But the two teams that have been running it for the longest, in the Saints and the Bucks, signed the players that they needed to sign. The Saints signed Demario Davis and Tyrann Mathieu, two key pieces to the defense, and the Bucks signed two key pieces to their offense, and then obviously Levante David, who's been there forever, and Winfield. Losing Devin White's going to be big for them. I know he kind of lost his step the last year or two.
They'll get over it. Yeah, get over it.
Yeah, but I think it's Atlanta's time to shine, and I'm not trying to shit on the Bucks. I'm happy they got, Mike Evans. I would have thought they would have made a play for Russell Wilson or something like that.
Shout out to Jason. Hey, shout out to Light for that one. Like, as somebody who lives in Tampa now, like I still support what's going on.
Yeah.
Mike Evans is somebody who I really do like, and for him to be a lifer, I saw they already had the billboards out. Tampa Bay for life, like for him, like I really appreciate that a lot. So I do love that. That to me was my favorite signing out of that whole division, honestly.
Yeah, me too. All right, let's wrap it up with the West. This one's really lackluster. Arizona Cardinals, they just add Mac Wilson. They're losing Marquise Brown. The Rams,
Where Marquise going?
he's departed. They're not re-signing him.
Damn. Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Rams re-signed DeMarcus Robinson. They lose John Johnson, I guess.
Okay.
49ers add Leonard Floyd and Gross Matos. They're losing Sam Darnold, John Feliciano, Cleveland Farrell, Randy Gregory, Chase Young, Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw, Tashawn Gibson. That's a lot of pieces on your defense that have holes now. And then the Seattle Seahawks, all they really did was re-sign Noah Fant and Leonard Williams. Fuck. And they lose Drew Lock, Jason Peters, Jordan Brooks, Devin Bush, Bobby Wagner, Jamal Adams, and Quandre Diggs. So a lot of holes on that defense now too.
Jason Peters is like 49,000 years old, so who gives a
Still
shit
can
about
play.
that? Not only does I don't give a shit about that.
Still can play though.
He is
man.
old ass. No, I'm good with him. Yeah, the West is like, they're 3 hours behind us. They 3 hours behind on everything. That shit was, they ain't shit going on in the West. Like, I'm finding the West. They ain't nobody finding the West over there. Yeah, I can't speak on. I mean, San Francisco. I mean, they still gonna be fine. I mean, shit. The Rams are gonna be better to me, because now they have a year with how rebuilding off of last year. Arizona is very well.
Looking at the 49ers, it's just what's kind of scary to me is like all the players that you either drafted or signed in the offseason to 1 years, they're all gone.
What are they doing with what's his name, the wide receiver? Oh my God, what's his name?
Oh,
Ayuk, yeah, because like to me, like
under contract.
I've been hearing shit about that.
He's still under contract, so he's good. They're just talking about an extension if they don't extend.
I heard he's like in that T Higgins shit. Like, all right, look, I might like AJ Brown. They got to that point. All right, I might be looking for a trade or money because he's not going to play out his next year on the contract that he's on right now. That's what I read. So to me, that would be a bigger deal because I think we've talked about this on the show. Receiver for receiver, I like Brandon Ayuk a little bit better than Debo. Maybe because I just don't like Debo at all, but I like Ayuk more as a pure receiver. So to me, that might be a bigger deal than any of those. I don't know. That was tricky. But yeah,
honestly, I'm more looking at the deals that didn't happen. For one, I am shocked that Arizona didn't take a flyer on Mac Jones. I love Kyler Murray's arm talent. I love his talent, but I am surprised that I thought that would have been a team that would have wanted Mac Jones to kind of light a fire under Kyler Murray's ass.
I know why. Kyler Murray is too sensitive, and they don't want to like scare him. Like, no, you're the guy. You're the guy. Yeah.
Rams were another one I would think would maybe take the flyer on him too.
Yeah.
So very surprising that he didn't go to the NFC East in the NFC at all. So West, yeah. So other than that, I think you guys hit everything else. Nothing I need to really touch on. Very boring NFC West.
All right. Here's last thing. My 10 best free agents from all of that. So at 1, I have Tyron Smith. If you want the best O-lineman.
Available. Okay.
Available still. That haven't been signed yet. Tyron Smith, Chase Young, Stephon Gilmore, Mike Williams, Eric Armstead, Jadeveon Clowney, Justin Simmons, Trent Brown, Kevin Zeitler, and then Devin White. Those are my top 10.
You named a lot of old people. You know the NFL don't give a shit about old people, dog.
I know, but like if you need a push and that's what you need, those are good players to have.
I would wait till like after training camp to get some of those.
Those are my top 10, and I was going based off of what some of the writers had as their top 10 available, and everything almost from the bottom 6 maybe down was about the same.
And the last thing to add to all that, because I have actually these receiver numbers pulled up. So after Calvin Ridley signed his 4-year, $92 million deal, and then Michael Pittman signed his deal, these are the receivers that are now eligible for new deals right now. So when we talked about earlier in the show, it's not surprising we see a receiver be like, yeah, either I'm getting paid or I'm going, right? T. Higgins obviously being at the one of them. Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Amara St. Brown, Brandon Ayuk, and Nico Collins. All of them are at the same exact point right now where it's like, pay me or what are we gonna do? So that is something, A-Rod, you like to pay attention to all your beat writers and stuff. I want you to watch that one closely over the next couple of weeks because those are all out of the top 15 receivers in the league, they're all in there. They're all in the top 15, all of them, right? Top 12 maybe, right? So that one is something I definitely want to pay attention to kind of moving forward. But that's all I got for the NFL. Anybody got anything to add to the NFL before we jump on over to the National Basketball Association?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
All right, here we go. A-Rod, I need you. You're my scribe, okay? I need you to take a pen out or whatever you need to do because I need you to make a track of this because we're going to. Huh?
I said yes, sir, boss. I was to do that for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So we're doing a Who Do You Love special edition as we jump into the NBA. So House of Highlights posted pick one player under 25 to start a brand new franchise with. So what I decided to do is because two of the players on that list, on that franchise list under 25 are Wembanyama and Shet. I was like, you know what? They're too young. We're gonna just put them out. All right. So it's gonna be instead of 7, it's gonna be 5 players. Now I've seen they're all under the age of 25. Now I've seen this trend on Instagram and shit like that where you have to rank the players, not not in the order that you get. Like I'll give you a player and you have to just guess what you think their rank is between 1 and 5 without knowing who's gonna be next coming up. I don't know if you guys have seen that trend, but all right, so you know how to play this, right?
No, but I'll let you explain.
All right, I'll start with A-Rod. I'll start with A-Rod with the first one, and then I'll go to you, and then he'll try to explain it to you. So
right.
I have 5 players. I'm going to give you the first player. So
it's blind ranking them.
You're blind ranking them, yes. So you don't know who the next 4 are going to be.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Boom.
All right, now I get it. Blind ranking.
All right, we got 5 players under the age of 25. All right.
Yeah.
We'll start with Paolo Banchero. A-Rod. What do you rank Paolo Banchero right now? Blind test.
Out of 5?
Yeah.
Putting him at 3.
All right, write it down.
I am.
You're my scribe. All right, cool. Vic.
I got him at 2.
2.
2.
All right. Do I need to participate, A-Rod? Because I'm scared. Oh, I already know the players, so I can't participate. I already know the players. In case you guys haven't heard, Sammy hasn't been on for a while, so he's got that. He's got that Cricket wireless internet. So it is what it is. It is what it is. We tried to get him to connect to McDonald's, but he ain't pushing. So just so y'all know. But anyway, all right. So you said 2, Vic.
2.
Yeah.
All right. Next player, John Morant. What was where did you have Apollo? 3?
3.
All right, John Morant.
I am a 2.
2, Vic.
I'm gonna have him at 3.
At 3, okay. So we got both of y'all got 2 or 3 filled out. All right. Next player, Tyrese Halliburton.
4.
1.
Ooh. Jeez.
I know what 1's going to be for me.
The next player, Anthony Edwards.
Number 1.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, come on, Vic. And you already got 1, 2, or 3 gone.
4
Damn.
5, you're putting him at.
4, 5.
Fuck, man. Yeah. So he would have definitely been my 2 or my 1. But
hey, sorry, that's not how the game works.
I'm gonna put him at 4.
All
Damn.
right.
Hey, you know who the last one is?
Who?
Luka Doncic.
Jesus.
That's your number 5, Vic?
I don't like his game.
That's your number 5.
No.
Come on. A-Rod. Who is that 5 for you too, A-Rod?
That's 5 for me.
Yes. We're going to read it off to me who y'all got it ranked, how y'all got it ranked.
All right, so I have Ant as 1, 2 Ja, 3 Paolo, 4 Tyrese, 5 Luca. He has Tyrese 1, 2 Paolo, 3 Ja, 4 Ant, 5 Luca.
Vic, yours is horrible. A-Rod, yours is actually not bad. Like, I know putting Luca at 5 is crazy, but in the grand scheme of things, we've seen a lot of Lucas in the league. They just super talented and never shit don't ever get done. To me, Anthony Edwards, his ceiling, when they say the ceiling is the roof,
Okay.
his ceiling is out of this fucking world. Though he's everything we think he is, and then some. Paulo, if he just there's something missing. Like there's like a fire missing in him. Once he gets that fire, whatever that motivation is for somebody like him, he could be the scariest one on his list. I mean, he has the physical skill set, the athleticism, the offense, the defense. He's literally, to me, the most well-rounded out of all of those 5. He could really be, that guy, right? And then Ja, he could be at his best Derrick Rose, and at his worst, John Wall became. I
think he's Derrick Rose. Honestly, I probably would have had him at 4 or 5 on my normal list. I don't really like too much of his game. It reminds me of Derrick Rose, where he has this incredible stretch for a few years and then ends up being an afterthought.
All right, I got you. All right, cool. Last but not least, as we're getting close to the end of the NBA season, we did have these midseason trades and free agency and buyout market and shit that happened about a month ago. So I want to do some quick quick grades on how it's really working and why you would give it that grade. All right. So we'll start with, and these are for playoff teams because that's obviously who we truly care about. So we start with Milwaukee Bucks. They picked up Patrick Beverly. Obviously before the All-Star break, it got a little shaky, but since then, they lost by 35 to Sacramento. But since then, it hasn't been too bad. So how do you think Patrick Beverly has changed? I can see it from a Philadelphia 76ers perspective. I love what Patrick Beverly brings to our locker room. How would you kind of assess? I'll start with you, Vic. How would you assess his impact on Milwaukee?
I'd give it a B.
Okay.
I think he has the ability to ignite a locker room. I think that his energy gets old, which is why you see him typically only be in a place for 1 or 2 years and then get moved off. I think he replaces a lot what Drew did, just not offensively, more defensively. So I think they needed him. I think it's worked out. I'm going to give them a B.
Okay. Hey, right.
Same thing. Just don't say shit to him and rub him the wrong way. He'll air you out on the podcast.
Pause. All right. And in that trade, we got campaign. But yes, the 76ers have struggled without Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey's been in and out of the lineup. We were able to get Buddy Hield and campaign in the midseason. I'll tell you right now, I like Buddy, but I'll give it an F because I knew shit wasn't gonna change. And I'm missing Patrick Beverly in the locker room. To me, that one hurts a lot. So, A-Rod, what would you give that grade? The Sixers so far.
I give it a B. You guys have it adds more depth for your team, if anything. And he's a good shooter. I watch him shoot out the gym all the time. But I mean, just not having Joel Embiid there, that's the problem. That's what hurts for you.
And Vic, I know you got us in the Eastern Conference Finals with you guys. There's no way I could see it. So, what do you think?
I give it a C for this season. An A if they keep this core together, or this core together for next year. I think that when Embiid comes back and when Maxey comes back, it's going to take some time for them to gel and to learn each other. But I love the depth that the Philadelphia 76ers have, like A-Rod said. I love the ability of them to have 4 scorers on the floor that are all capable of going for 20, and Maxey, Harris, Hield, and Embiid. I think that adds a great dimension. Now the question is, can they come together this season? I don't know. That's why I'm giving them a C for this grade.
All right. And then we'll go to just real quick the Mavericks. Lost Grant Williams. I'm not going to talk about Charlotte. They gained Dale Gafford, I think he's on a 4-game streak of not missing a shot. And then they also Rashawn Holmes and somebody else. Who am I missing? With the
PJ Washington.
and PJ Washington. So, what do you think? I mean, A-Rod, what you got?
I like it, but they're playing team, so I mean, I give it a C minus. Like,
Vic?
kudos to Daniel
Yeah.
Gafford, but nothing turned my head.
You don't think they could be a threat in the playoffs?
No, I really don't. They're missing like another key player on that team. 2 guards ain't gonna win you shit. You need a big that can do something.
Vic?
I'm going to give them a B plus. I actually like the trades. I think they brought a lot to the team, and actually addition by subtraction with Grant Williams, who wasn't obviously gelling in the locker room. I'll tell you what, though, what A-Rod said really gave me a lot of pause. I think he's absolutely right. You need a big man to make a deep run in the playoffs, especially in the West, where there is so many dominant big men. I don't think anybody's going to stop Jokic, but at least put somebody in his way, make it a little bit more difficult. So I give them I'm actually changing my grade from a B plus, which it was originally, to a just straight B.
And isn't it crazy? The West has been like that for like 25 years. If you don't have good big men in the West, you can't do shit. Shaq, Duncan, David Robinson, the list goes on. So that's a good point. All right, let's bring it back home, New York. A-Rod, talk about what New York has gained and how do you feel about your Knicks?
Nothing. We haven't gained anything. We just
gained OG Anunoby. You gained Bogdanovic, and then you gained.
I mean, you're seeing it when he's put in the lineup. It makes sense. They win games. They win games when he's in the lineup. Everything just needs to be a well-oiled machine for New York to work. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And Tibbs has to be better with the. Josh Hart said it the other day. The motherfucker got. I'll stop cursing. He got a triple-double, 20 points, like 19 rebounds.
19 rebounds. He's a hard rock bet money maker for me. Assist the rebounds, baby.
I told you he's a small player that plays really, really big. But he said, "Hey, we got OG back, so we don't have to be no bench no more." Like, it's still gonna happen with Tibbs.
You were happy about that, though. You were happy OG was back.
Yeah, I was definitely happy, man. I just need everybody back healthy. When Mitchell Robinson comes back and Julius Randle comes back and everybody's clicking, it'll be good.
All right, Vic. We got who y'all picked up? Xavier McDaniel. Who else? You got it.
Tillman and Jaden McDaniel.
All right,
Jaden McDaniel.
Any impact?
Yeah, slight impact with Tillman. He had a great game last night. I think it's going to take him a little bit to earn some more trusted rotation minutes over Luke Cornett, but I think he was a great pickup for the future and good for the season. Great bench piece. We need to back up big other than Keita, even though he has been good this season. I don't think he was getting it done for Joe Mazzulla, so they went with Tillman, who I like. And then same thing, Daniels. I think he's a guy that is not going to have an impact this season, but will maybe later on. His defense has been incredible. He locked up Steph Curry. You would know better than anybody. He's a great defensive player. So we'll see in the future with him. But as of right now, I'm giving the Celtics a C plus for their trades that they made. I don't think there's anything too impactful other than just getting a little bit of depth, even though I wish they would have gotten a little bit more.
And Jason Tatum, next week we're going to talk about him because he's becoming up a little short in closing minutes of important games. So we're going to get to him. But Vic, what do you want to let your naysayers know?
I want to let them know that the USMNT roster just came out for the Nations League tournament that's coming up at the end of March. We are playing Jamaica in the semi. Is it called the semifinals? Semifinals. The finals before the finals. So make sure you guys tune in and watch and support your country. Lots of great players playing out of Europe. And a crazy thing that I'm just going to throw out there, right now, Malik Tillman has been better than Gio Reyna this season. And I would not be shocked if that continued later on in their career. I don't think Gio Reyna is getting the playing time that he needs at Nottingham Forest, so we need him to be able to find a team where he can consistently find minutes.
Hey, Rod, we got to let your naysayers know.
McCall Hardman, I appreciate everything you do for the Kansas City Chiefs, but keep my team's name out your mouth. Bitch. That's all I can say. Keep my team's name out your mouth, you bitch.
Damn, that was personal. Hey, for me, man, Howie Roseman, Hey, they should have never doubted you. And one last shit, fuck Chip Kelly. It reminded me how much I hate Chip Kelly. So that's all I got. Naysayers, adios. Where can they find us, A-Rod?
You can find us on Twitter at fair_weather_pod. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Search the Fair Weather Podcast, and wherever you subscribe or listen to podcast audio, you can catch us there.
What about TikTok?
If Sammy was here and not on his Cricket Wi-Fi, he could tell us more about that.
Vic, all right, Vic, what's your words of wisdom? And then we're gonna talk about you making the TikTok.
I don't know how to use technology.
Damn it.
My words of wisdom are get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. USA, baby. Adios.